Hello and welcome to Courselight, your car brochure channel, and today's Saturday special for the 1985 Nissan Micra. Welcome back and welcome to Courselight. If you're new to the channel, we're pleased to have you here. But if you never watched an episode before, we're a car brochure channel. We look at many different brochures, mainly from the 60s, 70s, 80s and 90s on Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays. Today's your Saturday special, usually a much shorter episode, a little glimpse of a particular model. And today's particular model is the Nissan Micra K10. So if you think that might interest you, please consider subscribing. So this little K10 Micra, the first generation, first launched in 1982, ran all the way till 1992. In Britain and the UK, it didn't arrive till June 83. 83 was a busy time for these small cars, lots of launches, the Fiat Uno, Peugeot 205, Vauxhall Nova, second generation Ford Fiesta. It had a lot of competition, but it did very well and it sold extremely well in Britain, mainly because it was very fuel efficient, but more importantly, it was an extremely reliable small car. But anyway, let's have a look at today's brochure. So like I said, this brochure is from 1985 and it's actually the full range of Nissan cars for 1985, but it just gives a glimpse of each different model. So we're going to look at the Micra today, and like I say, it's just one page, so it was obviously too short for the main episode. The interesting thing about the brochure, it does give this rather nice scene in Britain, which I thought was quite an interesting little bit of a historical piece of information. And it's telling us this is the Nissan House headquarter complex at Worthing in Sussex. And it's saying carrying 30 million of parts. So a nice little start for the brochure. But like I say, the car we're going to look at today is the Nissan Micra. So here is the Nissan Micra, and this is our first main image. And like I said, this is very basic, so there isn't too many images in this particular brochure for the Micra. And this rather sort of attractive, sort of a purple grey. Extra points in the comments if anyone can tell me what colour that is. And obviously that's a rear shot. We get a little front shot of that as well. And these little first generation K10 Micras were very simple little cars. Second generation, they went more bubbly, didn't they? Much more rounded design, but this very simple but functional, and like I said at the start, an extremely reliable little car. And that was the key that really stood out from the rest of the super minis, really, this how reliable these little Micras were. So it's telling us here the Nissan Micra is one of the most outstanding new cars to go on sale this decade, with its combination of brisk performance and miserly fuel consumption. The Micra has a smooth aerodynamic body constructed using a latest weight-saving high tensile steel. A new 988cc aluminium alloy engine is coupled to an advanced overdrive ratio gearbox. Rack and pinion steering give positive control of the car at speed and is light for easy parking. Independent front suspension and a 4-link coil rear suspension gives enjoyable handling and positive road holding. Inside, the Micra has more headroom, legroom and shoulder width to enable you and your passenger to travel in complete comfort. The one-piece tailgate extends from the roofline to the flat floor of the luggage area so that heavy objects can be loaded or unloaded easily. The Micra is fully equipped on DX models. There's a LWMW radio, quartz clock, reclining front seats and head restraints, intermittent wipers, halogen headlamps, heated rear window, lockable fuel filler lid and a maintenance free battery. So, that's your base model and it's got all that equipment on it. It's not long ago when, top of the range cars in Britain had or didn't have that equipment on there. So another little key with these little Japanese cars is how well equipped they were. On SGL models, you'll find luxurious cloth upholstery, fitted carpets, split rear seats, 2-door mirror adjustable from inside the car, interior tailgate release, tinted glass and a laminated windscreen. There's also an FM radio with stereo cassette player. The new Nissan Micra, programmed for economy with big car comfort and refinement built in as standard. And then it gives the specifications for this little car. So we only got that one engine choice at this time, that little 1 litre, either in DX trim or SGL trim, or there's even, an automatic on offer here as well. There's some of the specifications. I'm not going to read all that out, but you can obviously read that yourself, or indeed pause the screen if you want to read it in any sort of detail. That little DX though, it only had a little 4-speed manual, but if you went for the SGL, 5-speed, and 5 speeds not that long ago wasn't that common, and 1985 we got a 5-speed on a little tiny little budget car. And it gives information about steering, suspension, brakes, wheels and tyres and curb weight. Then it gives you some of them all important fuel economy figures to show us what an extremely fuel efficient car this actually was. The 5-speed is the one to get, isn't it? But constant 56, that's doing 58.8 miles per gallon, which is extremely good. Even in town driving, you're getting 44. So a very fuel efficient car, and obviously when people saw them figures, they wanted one, and it did sell extremely well and proved to be an extremely reliable car. And that, surprisingly enough, is all you get in this brochure, which is strange, isn't it? Because if you look at like Ford all-range brochures, or all model brochures I should say, they give vast information, lots of pictures. Here, that's all you're getting. If we turn the page, in 1985 your next model up was the Nissan Cherry. We might look at that another day, possibly another Saturday special episode. So a very much direct and to the point brochure this one is for Nissan Cars 85. So that brings us to the end of today's episode for the Nissan Micra K10. Great little car, lots of memories I've seen, lots of them around. If you've got any memories of these, please jot them in the comments. Next week, we're going to be looking at the Morris vans and pickups, the Datsun 280ZX, and the Ford Mondeo Mark 1 on your Ford Fridays. So thank you so much for watching today. Please do like and subscribe. Have a great weekend. Take care and goodbye.